Okay then folks, right, your next batch of chords are going to be A minor, D7 and G. Okay, so we've got a new type of chord here with the A minor. We've got a minor chord, a little bit sadder sounding than the major chords like C or F. They're quite bright and cheerful. A minor, a little bit sadder, a little bit softer. So A minor, for starters, is a really great one. Really nice and easy. Not a lot to say about that one. It's your middle finger. Okay, that goes to the 2nd fret on the G string. And then you strum all 4 strings. Should be as easy as C, pretty much. Okay, nice and easy. Sounds great with C as well. Make sure that it's the 2nd finger you're using. Make sure it's arched up across the other strings so that they're all ringing out. Okay, so there is A minor. Nothing too fancy there. So D7, let's try this one next. Now you might notice on your chord sheet, or if you've looked this one up elsewhere, that D7 comes in a few different shapes and sizes. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I think are the 2 best ways for beginners to play a D7, the 2 easiest ways, and actually probably my favourite way of playing it. So on your chord sheet, you'll see across the top of the chord box fingers 2 and 3. So that's the 2nd finger in the same spot it was in for A minor or F, and the 3rd finger coming to the 2nd fret on the E string. Okay, and that will serve as a D7 right there. Now you can play those notes with the 1st and 2nd fingers as well. Okay, sounds exactly the same because it's the same notes, you're just using different fingers. Now, why complicate the matter and have different sets of fingers? I always like to show the 2 ways of doing this chord because I think that they're both really useful, and depending on the chord that you're coming into D7 from or the chord you're going out to, you might prefer one or the other. It might help set up that change a little bit better. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we were doing those 2 new ones we just looked at, A minor going to D7. Well, if I'm playing A minor, I'm already most of the way there to D7. I've just got to bring that 3rd finger in. So that's great. But let's say I was playing C. Well, now in C, my first 2 fingers are free, and I can actually have them kind of hovering over the strings here. So that if I want D7, the first 2 fingers just drop in. Naturally, you might prefer one or the other. One might feel a little bit more comfortable to you, and it's fine to pick a favourite on those. It's fine to just use one of those as long as you can get in and out of it fast enough. As long as you make that your D7 and you practice the changes with it, it's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter which one you use, but to start with, I would recommend trying out both and seeing which one works best for you. So our 3rd chord we'll look at today then is going to be G. Now, if you thought that in the beginning you didn't like G7, you're probably not going to like G either. It's another 3-finger job, and people often run into trouble when they come into G because the collection of fingers that you're using, these first 3 fingers, it's the same fingers as G7, but it's a different configuration. Everything has to change. Each finger is on a different string, and the 2 are named quite similarly. Also, you might struggle hearing the difference between the 2 initially as well. It is there. Okay. It's only 1 note changing. But there is a change there. So G can feel a little bit awkward at first, but just like G7, it's really super important. So you need to get this one together. So for G then, first finger is coming to the 2nd fret on the C. 2nd finger is going to the 2nd fret on the A. So it's a bit like the D7 shape if you did it with the first and second fingers, but down a string. Now your third finger comes in onto the E string at the 3rd fret. And again, this to my mind makes a little kind of triangle shape. And G and G7 are like mirror images of each other in my mind. And there's G, and there's G7. So just like before, practice going in and out of these chords, get used to dropping into that, and get used to changing from one chord to another. Go back to your chord pairs and now try each of these new chords with C. Can you get into G from C? Can you get into G from A minor? Can you get there from F? Okay, try those different combinations with each of those chords, okay, and that will really speed up the learning process of those and how quickly you can put them into practice on songs. Okay, so that's your next 3 chords. Have fun with those, get them memorised as quick as you can, and then come back for the next 3.